Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 21 of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. Today I sit down with Fortay, who is a good friend of mine and a heavyweight within the Australian rap community. He's pretty much pioneered the whole Western Sydney sound of Oz rap, so he's a very interesting person and a good friend of mine and one of my favourite music artists, so I feel privileged to call him a friend, actually. If you would like to check out some of his most recent work, he released 4 albums this year, and I know you'd think a guy who released 4 albums, they just get shitter and shitter, but they're actually very, very good. They're some of my favourite albums. The one that I would recommend having a listen to, if you have to pick one, would probably be his most recent one, which is Can't Sell Drugs Forever. Or Fuck Every Cunt, if you like the sound of an album with a lot of offensive shit in it. So yeah, this is my chat with Fortay. Check him out on iTunes and Facebook and everything. And if you like the podcast, support me on Patreon to keep everything free. Hope you enjoy this chat with myself and Fortay. Fortay. Welcome to Spearhead Sundays, Fortay.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. What night is it? Monday night?
Something like that.
Yeah, having a pretty hectic Monday.
Yeah.
So you tell us a bit about yourself. What do you do? You're an Australian rapper from Sydney.
Yeah, I'm a rapper from West Sydney.
Yeah.
And I just rap.
That's sick. So you came up. Where did you come up from?
I came up from Blacktown.
Yeah.
It's a spot about 40 minutes out of Sydney, in Sydney's west.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, if you could describe what are you trying to do with your rap? Are you trying to?
I'm just trying to tell a story for a place that had its own cultural identity that wasn't being narrated right in Aussie hip hop at the time when I started.
Yeah.
Because there was people representing from different states. The hoods are from Adelaide. You know, there wasn't very many big rappers. It was in its early stages, and I don't know. A lot of the rappers came from Melbourne or fucking Adelaide, or you know what I mean. Sydney didn't really have its own voice besides Bliss and Esso, or like Death Wish Cast, back in the day, but they didn't. I think they were still influenced by American rap. No one was repping where they were from. You could tell they're Aussie rappers, but you couldn't particularly tell where they in Australia they were from.
They weren't really proud of coming from Australia or anything.
No, they're probably proud of it, but no one really, they were telling stories about the working, whatever they were going through, and they weren't going through what I was going through, so I didn't really relate to that. I felt like a lot of them were break dancers and stuff like that because they were, emulating the early American stuff.
Yeah.
So when I started doing Aussie rap, I think it was still finding its cultural identity, and then the age had been progressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it went from Run DMC to so and so, and they were like the Run DMC for that day, and then we're the new shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I feel. I was trying to do, bring the new age, bring something new to it. Yeah,
because now Sydney has quite a strong scene.
Now it does, yeah.
Yeah, because how long have you been doing it for?
About 10 years, properly.
Yeah.
Give or take, yeah. Maybe a few more. Probably since about 2003. I started writing rhymes in year 2000, but I was fucking around for a few years.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I've never really taken rap as serious as I have in the last 2 months. In the last 2 years or 3 years. But before that, I was just doing shit and getting caught up in the mix, and which sidetracks you a lot from. It's more than just rapping. There's a lot to it. You gotta apply yourself if you wanna.
Yeah, you can't just be whatever it is. You can't just be good at that one thing. There's lots of behind the scenes stuff and your image and
well, we'll go through some talking a lot of shit about a lot of different stuff, and if we're really going through a lot of that stuff, and if you really go through a lot of that stuff, you don't always have time to apply yourself to a positive direction.
Yeah,
because you're so sidetracked in doing bad shit or fucking getting high or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like a 9 to 5.
So for those who aren't familiar with Blacktown, what kind of area is it?
It's an area. It's got a lot of good people, and it's got scumbags as well, and everything in between. So you got people back in the day when I started rapping. There was people at the station sniffing glue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you got millionaires there. You got and everything in between. It's like the biggest city in Australia or something. It's got like over 300,000 people.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's all walks of life, but there is a lot of housing commissions.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably more known for the bad stuff than it is for the good, but it's not completely bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just like, it's just because it's so dense and so populated that a lot of shit goes on, I guess.
Yeah, I've noticed that in Sydney. The difference between Melbourne and Sydney is it seems a lot more packed. Like there's a much wider variety of people. Like for example, I thought here where I'm staying, I think it's quite nice. The people seem to be quite well off. But just down the road, we drove past some housing commission.
This place is changing because it's a city. The real estate's gone up, and there was bad areas everywhere. The city was just as bad as the west. That sometimes. Like we're around the corner from Redmond, sometimes shit that went down there is worse than shit down there, but now they moved a lot of them people down out west, and every area's got bad shit, but the city areas now, because the property value is so high, they're moving all these housing commissions to cheaper areas and selling the land or doing whatever the fuck they're doing with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's pushing all the bad shit out into the west, you know what I mean? And the west is like a big cultural mixing pot of all sorts of nationalities and refugees and fucking all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? So it's really diverse. And Aussie hip hop it's almost like a mini America in a sense, because that's so mixed. But Aussie hip hop, like say Hilltop Hoods, I say is like the music for white Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I would agree with that because Hilltop, I get their music, but I don't the message that they try to push I don't relate with too much, because I like the stuff that you talk about in your music or like Cursor or a lot of other. I prefer the West Syd scene because it's more about the struggle almost.
But we don't always just focus on that as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got a lot of different things. Like I went to Adelaide and I'm driving through traffic and I see an Aussie in his ute coming home from work pumping the hard road or whatever that it was. And so I understand their demographic. Yeah. Because they got the radio and a lot of tradies listen to the radio, and a lot of places in Australia are still whitely dominated, but the West is like one that's more mixed than probably anywhere in Australia. Yeah,
which you're right about that in America, because America's got a crazy amount of different nationalities with people from everywhere, and especially they've got that whole culture of the African struggle as well. Yeah. Because they've come from, slavery
and now a lot of them have been here for 10 years, so they're starting to adapt to the ways, and you know what I mean? So so the story I've seen in West Sydney wasn't being told by any Aussie hip hop artists before me. That's basically why I started.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to just talk about what you know, and because as me talking as a fan of your stuff, I don't come from that at all. Yeah. But I like that. To me, like I connect with that because it's even though I'm not from it, I can relate in a way that.
Well, there'll be certain things you can relate to, and there'll be certain things that entertain you, because you don't always want to hear a story of what your neighbour's up to. You want to hear things like what happened on the other side of the world. It intrigues people because it's different, but it's still so close. It's not out of reach, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is just the media feeds you the music they want you to hear, the images they want you to hear, blah, blah, blah. And it's good that we can finally get a voice, because obviously there are people out there that want to hear this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because I really enjoy rap, but Oz rap is definitely by far my favourite genre, because with American rap it can be good, and a lot of it's there's a lot of money and they're really like professional in it. They've got their system working, but it's harder for me to relate to. Like I kind of explain it as, why wouldn't you want to hear suburbs that in your music that you listen to, or slang that you actually use?
Also, Australia's still heavily got that say 50% of the population still want to do whatever America does, and they're the people that go to the club and think they're bloody Usher or T-Pain in the club, and they get influenced by the music and they want to live that image, when really we should be talking about it's the same shit, but just we're our own people doing it, because but there is a lot of different nationalities that won't relate fully to Aussie hip hop.
Yeah.
Like the Africans or something, they might not gel to it.
Yeah.
So, but they might gel to the other stuff. So there's always going to be that divide. So, doing the Western Sydney shit, it's just hopefully it opened the door, or it did open the door for people like them later on with different cultures to say, all right, we're not fully Aussie ochre, but we're Australian, and this is where we're from. Yeah,
exactly. Because I think when I first started getting into listening to Australian rap, it was like 2012 is when I discovered your music, and Curse's music was the first two Australian artists that I kind of clicked with. Like there was Bliss and Esso and there was Hilltop, but I didn't really, because it was radio stuff and I wasn't really connecting with it. But then I found this other more independent kind of stuff that you guys were pushing. And when I started listening to it, it was like I first discovered Curse's music, which was Don't Fuck With Cursor, because a few people in my high school class would play it as a joke during like class, and then and that was a little bit funny because there was swearing in it, but then I was like, oh, who is he? And I looked it up and I was like, this is real shit, you know, from the country that we're from. And then from that I got into you, and which is even further away from my world, but I just thought it was really sick to see people, because you guys don't get too much radio play at all, really, in Australia.
Hard. Yeah, it's hard to get you played on the radio when you do an album called Fuck Every Cunt. And they gotta get it. They can't even say the name of your album on the radio.
Yeah.
But you said people like Bliss and Esso, them and Hijack and Torture were the only ones that were repping the scene. Hijack and Torture fell off for their own reasons, and Bliss and Esso, you couldn't tell that they were from Sydney. One of them sounds like he's from fucking Canada or something, and the other one's talking about magic mushrooms and fairies and lollipops and shit. So they were never a true representative of the Sydney scene. I don't even know if they mentioned Sydney in their songs. I don't know, but they didn't. They do not represent what Sydney is. They have a good commercial success, and I understand that. But to me, they were never a true representative of Sydney. Torture held it down for years. He's from the West. He's a very good lyricist. Hijack's from Bondi. They were two walks of life. They did their thing. They're both good MCs, but you know, when no one came out the gate repping our shit, and now we have rappers coming up saying, oh fuck, West Sydney this, West Sydney that. So we've made it a thing we've branded it.
Yeah, well that's, you know, if someone's saying fuck this, that means it's a thing, you know. That's that's an achievement. If it's big enough for someone to bag it and the listeners to recognise, oh, they're bagging this style of music, that means you've made it a thing.
Yeah.
So that's an achievement if someone's talking shit, in my view.
And we did it by accident. We didn't just go out to go West Sydney this, West Sydney that. It was because the cunts that were controlling the Sydney scene were from the city, and they didn't like the cunts from the West because there's always the Westie thing, like people are poorer or whatever it is, and so they always want to think they were sicker than us. But then we made the poor thing being cool, and now West Sydney's all them cunts. None of them are around today. You know what I mean? And we're still around because there was more in touch with reality than trying to be fucking something they're not.
Trying to emulating
these American cunts that are all about jewelry, cars, and bitches and all that stuff. We weren't about that. We were about fucking bongs, fucking robbing cunts, and fucking copping a suck.
Yeah, which is very Australian. Bongs and sucks. That's about as Australian as you can get.
Yeah, I know. So we kept it real to what it was, but they, from the outside, they would have like been terrified, like, fuck this cunt. And we used to go to shows and get drunk and really live it and bash people. No, I'm not saying like glorify bash people, but get into fights and just seeing trouble follow us.
Yeah.
So what we were saying was getting reinforced in that. And my idea of hip hop is like, let's all get in the room and see, like, if you're talking tough, we don't want to get off the monkey. Oh, that was cool rap, man. That was cool. Like, if you're talking tough, you better fucking back it up a bit. So when we get in a battle, if these cunts said shit, it would be very easy for some people to get bashed outside the venue or something for saying the wrong thing. So it was more, I don't like fake rappers and nerd rappers and that. I like real rappers, because it's like, life is real in general. You know what I mean? And not all that get on the stage and I'm gonna say this about you. So shit is bullshit unless you're getting paid for it. And you know what I mean? It's a lot of shit doesn't come from the heart.
I think you can tell if someone's not being genuine in their music and or in any kind of industry. If they're talking about what they're doing, it's very easy to see through that. Like even in comedy, when you're talking about the inner city of Sydney trying to keep everybody else out, I can relate with that. There's a massive scene in the middle of Melbourne who run all the comedy rooms and they just give spots to their mates and they're all like, oh, how did you do? Oh shit, oh that's like I did shit too, and that they make it, they feel okay, and they're very scared of people coming up, like a new generation. Like it's a very fucking lame comparison, but it's like the new brand of internet comedians who are coming up. All of the other stand-up guys who are, if we do stand-up and internet is just a scam to sell tickets.
Shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of rappers do that within the Sydney scene. That's why you see all these rappers, all these gutter rappers or street rappers, whatever they want to call themselves, fighting amongst each other because they're dumb. If they all work together, we could all do shows constantly. More people would come, more people would be interested. The people are laughing, watching these people go back and forth at each other. Half the scene's on the fucking pipe. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if we all work together, that's why I'm working on my label now and I'm letting these up and coming kids, I'm giving a few people a chance. We're just doing some shit with Top Dog. Yeah. And some different shit, and we're going to work together and you'll get further working together. But the other states, they want to see West Sydney turn on itself too.
Yeah, of course, because West Sydney seems to be almost at the it'll be at the forefront of Australian rap quite soon. And so everyone's kind of waiting for that to fall over.
Me and Kirsten met back in the day at a studio in Blacktown, and when I met him, he was that keen to learn. Like he was like probably the third or fourth time he'd ever been in the studio, maybe less. So he was like he'd heard of me because I'd already dropped some stuff, and he was asking me for advice, and I was happy. I never really liked to get along with rappers because most of them were from the city, but he was one of the first few. I go, this guy's from a similar background to me. He comes from Campbelltown, housing commission, I see that he's hungry, he's really giving it a go, and you got to have a love for it, not just be fucking, I'm a tough cunt, I'm going to make this shit rhyme, but really have something going about you.
And you don't want it.
Yeah, and he had that from the start, and I usually, most cunts I didn't work with, I worked with a handful of people, I helped a lot of people that didn't have the drive that they should have had, and I wasted a lot of time with them, but he had the drive from the start. He was going to do it regardless, whether or not. And I was happy when he blew up because I knew that, if it was going to be anyone besides myself, I'm glad it was him. Yeah. Not these cunts, you know what I mean? These other fuckwits, you know? So.
Yeah, it's no good helping somebody is going to waste it. Because I've done that before, you know. You can open my shows and then they're wasting the opportunity. And it's like,
I used to take 5-6 cunts with me that would fuck me around and this, that, and just because I didn't like the spotlight myself. I wanted to be the best rapper, but I couldn't give a fuck about doing shows. But that's where you got to go to the next level, and if you either take it serious or you don't do it. You know what I mean? So I have to step it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you have stepped it up, especially this year. You dropped 4 albums this year. Yeah. Which I thought was... When you said you were going to do that, I was like, I think he can do 4 albums, but I don't know if he can make them better. Because usually an album, with every successive album, you want to make it better. Yeah. But listening to all of them, they were all great, but they all definitely got better. Like each album was a step up. Yeah. I thought, and it was like an album every 3 months, which I've never heard of any music artist doing in any genre.
I can do that. Yeah. Gucci Mane drops 13 songs a day. I just need to be in the studio. There's no point. I just need the beats. You know what I mean? You give me the right beats, I can do my best is 5 songs in one day when I was straight and wasn't on pot and I was right. Blah blah blah. So and that's me having minimal distractions. I can do it. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? It's just getting the beats. You know, I got fucking 12 mixtapes or something, and that's because I had the lack of getting beats. But now I've been lucky. I was so backlogged and shit that it gave me enough time for this last 6 months. I haven't wrote fuck all, and I can help work on other people's stuff. And but I got the next album halfway done, so that'll be, and it's really good.
Yeah, that's great. Because what I thought was quite funny was the 3rd album of this year was called Fuck Every Cunt. Yeah. And you had a bit of dramas with iTunes putting that up, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't that one. I had trouble. No, it got up. They just edited it.
They edited it.
Yeah, I had trouble with the Can't Sell Drugs Forever cover just because I used the Glad Bag sign.
Ah,
so
yeah.
I re-edited it and used it.
Took out the flag because that's someone else's logo.
Yeah.
And I saw on, you posted a video, someone, obviously not associated with you, spray painted a massive "fuck every cunt" advertisement on
the M4.
On the M4, which is a big highway in Sydney.
It's like about the wall's about a 3 or 4 story house high by about 3 houses wide.
That's amazing. So it's just this massive burner, because obviously "fuck every cunt" doesn't meet advertising standards.
No, not really.
It's a little bit offensive.
Yeah. So
it's good that you've got good Samaritans that are out there.
Someone that support the album that helped me a lot, and got word out there. People were talking about it that didn't know what it was. And, it's just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool, and I think that we need more of that. Just people coming
We need more graffiti artists putting my name and my release dates on trains and walls everywhere throughout Australia.
So if anyone's listening and they've got a marker in their bag or a spray can,
anything, next
get it
album,
out now.
Go on Facebook, see what the release date is, and write it up, and you'll have 10 years good luck.
That's a fact.
Or 10 months in jail.
Yeah, one of the two. Is that still up there? That massive?
Nah, it got covered. It got buffed the first night.
Oh, really?
But then someone mysteriously went back and did it again, and it lasted about 2 months after that.
Wow, that's amazing. They just probably gave up. They thought, let him have it.
Quitters.
Yeah. And so what's next for you after dropping 4 albums? What's the next thing that you're trying to do?
Instead of spending 12 months to do 4 albums, I'm gonna spend 12 months to do probably 2 albums that are and funnel them down a bit and just work on it. Make sure make every song better than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do 2 albums in the next 12 months that are twice as good than the 4 I've done it. 12.
Yeah. That's great. So, where are you trying to get with your music? Are you trying to get anywhere particular?
I said I just wanted to drop 10 albums when I start, but now all I want to do is be able to live off it.
Yeah.
And if I can live off it, then I've got plenty of abuse and stupid shit, and there's probably a few facts in between that I can share with you if you want to pay me to make them rhyme.
Yeah. No, I think that's just about the best thing that any kind of artist doing anything could hope for is to just live off it. Even if you're not rich, if you're not, if
famous. I can't live off it, I'm just going to do some stuff that really offends a lot of people. Yeah. So either way, I'll sort of feel like I did my part.
Yeah, as long as someone's angry. Yeah. That's what matters.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really interested in how I kind of got involved with all of you guys and the Oz rap scene. Because all people are always surprised. They would think that I would think that you would take the piss out of that.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really, really like, and to kind of know, like you two guys, Cursor and Fortay, are like my favorite artists out of anything that I listen to.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to kind of know you personally, and a lot of people are really interested how we kind of met. Do you remember how we met?
I remember the lead up to it. I was at the studio recording some songs, and Beat On. I think I was working on like Living Proof or something, and Beat On he used to record me, but he used to always want to show YouTube videos. Oh, look at this man! Look at this man! Oh, I'm gonna have a cigarette. And I'm the sort of person I want to record. I can do a song in 15 minutes. I'm done.
You want to pump it out?
He wants to spend that 15 minutes telling me some bullshit, showing me a film clip I couldn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And one day he's like, "Oh, look at this guy, man! Oh, he's got arrested. He's got a current affair. This, that." I'm like, turn that shit off. Fuck it. I don't want to hear that shit. And I remember him say the name, and then 2 weeks later, I think you commented on one of the videos. Yeah. So I told him. I go, hey, you wouldn't believe it, this fuckwit I told you to turn off, he's fucking messaged me. Yeah. And he's like, oh, bullshit. And then I think we just corresponded through that, and then somehow, I think when we went to Melbourne, we met up. Was that right?
Yeah, that was it. That was at LMG Studios, I think.
Was that the first time?
Yeah, I think so. Was it? Or was it before that?
I've taken a lot of things I shouldn't be taking.
Yeah, you're always trying to get me to do it.
and you never will.
Nah, you'll get there one day.
Let's start a campaign. Let's just start him on the pot first, because I've offered him a few things.
Yeah.
He won't even take the pot, but we'll work on the pot. Look, I reckon his next biggest video will be him smoking pot for the first time.
Yeah, see, because people don't believe me that I don't do it. People are disappointed when
they think you're fried.
Yeah, they think that, oh, you do Ping of Pete, that means you must do it. I'm like, no, that just means that I'm dead sober. I see what happens. That's how I remember it.
See, smart cunts act like dumb cunts to fool dumb cunts. You know what I mean? And that's why Lewis is so good.
Yeah.
Because he plays dumb. And a lot of other people, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes the dumber the shit, the wider audience you're going to attract. Because let's just face it, a very small percentage of us are smart.
Yeah, because I think the way I see it, people are like, "Oh, why do you make fun of that shit if you don't do it?" And it's here's how I do it. If my theory is, if I go out to a club and I'm dead sober, I remember every fucking thing that happens.
It's the best.
So that's how I make fun of shit that happens, because I know exactly what happens. Whereas somebody who goes out and gets really drunk, I think it takes them 10 goes to patch together the information of what actually happens.
Depends how drunk you get. You know what I mean? If you're straight and you go to a club, you realise how shit clubs are. You shouldn't have went back the second time. Because you see, clubs are just some fake bullshit. But you're right. But then there's sometimes, like, I will never say drugs have inspired me, but I've been off my fucking tits several times and thought of some cracker lines. You know what I mean? So it could work either way. I'd still, you know what I mean? I can still get a couple of lines here and there. Pretty high right now. I think I'm functioning alright. I've got to drive home from here, 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, I was only a little bit freaked out on the way here while you're driving.
That was nothing. But I would not support drugs, but, you know what I mean? They both have their advantages. You can be quick-witted if you're not on it, but, you know.
Because my view is, I don't judge people for doing it. You know, I think it's a personal choice. Like, if it's fucking your life and fucking people around you, then it's no good. But my personal reason for not doing it is I don't think I've ever seen myself, people around me, like, I've never seen it benefit someone in the long term. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to make everything that I do add on in a small way to where I want to end up. Yeah. And I've seen, people smoke a bit of weed and come up with a good joke, but I've never seen them continuously do it and it then help them.
No, they don't. It's good if you got fuck all to do.
Yeah.
And like, it makes things 10 times harder to do. I can write my best shit when I'm straight. But I do a lot of fun stuff in my life and I got a lot of leisure time, so why not be stoned when I do it?
That's it. Alright, so what we'll do now, I'll ask you about just
couple of questions.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. Before we do that though, you're starting a label.
Yeah, At Large.
At Large. Is it At Large Productions?
Yeah. And we're going to put Top Dog's next clip out. We've got to get Top Dog on the show next time you're in Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Top Dog. So, for those of you who don't know who Top Dog is, could anyone even explain Top Dog?
He's from Lithgow. He's got Williams syndrome. And he's went viral making rap songs on his swing in his backyard. Yeah. So I've just taken my model of what I'm doing. I got a few things. I got the record label. I'll give him help with some areas that he doesn't necessarily do himself. Yeah. And we'll just see how it turns out. So you hopefully will turn Top Dog into the next Snoop Dogg. Yeah, he's already got a following, man. He's got a cult following. I love him, man. I love Top Dog. I think a lot of people do. He's great. I genuinely, like, with zero malice in my heart, I genuinely enjoy everything that he's doing. You could spend a night with him and he'd make you laugh all night, and he's a good guy. I like, besides the music, I'll still hang out with him anytime. Yeah, because a lot of people, make fun. I think that's fucking low to make fun of a dude with Williams syndrome. Well, I don't think a lot of people understand, and internet's just full of fucking idiots. And weak, gutless cunts that want to fucking say shit. But I've never once met a person say anything straight to his face. No way. And I think people misunderstand him a bit. So once we get full awareness of what he goes through and what he actually does, then all these haters will turn the fence in the end anyway. Yeah, I think so. I think he's got a bright career ahead of him in rap and in whatever he wants to do. Because I would, I'd fucking love to do anything with that dude. I think he's great. He's got a song coming out soon and a video clip, and it's called "Can I Touch Your Pussy?" So it's sure to be a hit. So what's that about, the song? it's just me and him. I'm featuring the chorus, and it's just about us asking people, can we touch their pussy?
That's great. So you did a film clip. How did the shoot for the film clip go?
Went pretty crazy. We got a penthouse. He was in a pimp suit, and he had fun. And he stayed the night, and just a whole lot of shit went down. But you know, that's some, you know, if walls could talk.
No, you have to stay tuned for the clip. All right, so for what I like to do now, we've got a couple of questions. They're not about us, unfortunately. They're just life advice questions. So
I love giving life advice.
Yeah. So we've got the guru Fortay here, who's going to help all you sad cunts with your problems. So I've got a first question from Mark, who can't spell. Mark wants to know. He wants to pursue rap. He really wants to do rap, but he's only 18. He's just finished high school, and he wants to know whether he should go to university to study music and production, or if he should just go out there and make music.
No, you shouldn't go, because you can either make music or you can't. School's just going to teach you the theory and how to make it. If you want to make it, all the best beat makers I know, none of them went to school. The one that did was Jimmy the Gen. He paid like 15 grand, he had to pay it off, and he got ripped off because he still can't record a song. And so you either got it in you or you don't. Spend those hours, your spare hours, go on the net, do tutorials, figure it out, stop being a dumb cunt. And if you have to ask us this question, then you're probably going to make some other fucked up choices anyway. So I think maybe just, ask a better question next time.
Yeah, I think if with anything, if you really want to do it, like maybe not engineering, I think you need to go to school for engineering. You don't want to go build a bridge and kill some people.
If you want to be a technician and you want to mix the stuff, mix and master, you should do a course or find someone that could tutor you to do it. But they still, they only teach you so much. You got to do all the out of school research and learn about the latest technology, the plugins, this, that.
A lot of it's a gut feeling. It's creative stuff. Yeah. You can't, because I think the way I view it is it's going to school for a creative thing. They're trying to put the crazy creative mix of stuff and fit it into a box, an academic box.
Yeah.
Like you can't teach singing like you can teach math formulas.
You can't teach someone to be an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can teach them the theory. So, to answer your question, Mark, no, if it's in you, you'll learn it yourself, you'll teach it yourself, and just the more time you put into it, the better you'll be.
Yeah. And then the last question is from Tom.
The last question, is that it? 1, 2 questions?
Yeah, just 2 questions. Yeah. Right. It's just because we tend to get very in depth, and we're coming up in half an hour anyway, so you got to go do your rehearsal. So the last one is from Tom. Now he wants to know, he's really good friends with 2 guys. Now
Tom's gay.
Yeah, Tom's the middle.
He's a double adapter.
Double adapter. So Tom is friends with 2 mates. They're anonymous. So his first mate has a girlfriend who has been dating his mate for over a year.
Yeah. And
he just found out that his girlfriend has cheated on his first friend with his second friend, and he has no idea. What he wants to know is, he's really good friends with both of these guys. Should he tell his friend that his girlfriend's cheated with his other friend? Should he dog one mate to save another?
If he's a really good mate of yours, and you should all band together. One of you should dig a hole. The other one should go get, some garbage bags. Yeah. Chop her up, get some lime. Or you can burn the bodies. I don't know. There's a couple of ways you can do it. Just take it to the cliff, some lookout somewhere, and push her off. And then just say, if there's 3 of you there, and one of you can be the witness, say, nah, or she fell, Put some Castrol GTX on the edge of the rock or something, go, let's go over there and have a look. I don't know, just knock the bitch, or why are you being a sad cunt worried about your mate and all his sad feelings because there's a slut out there. You should be trying to fuck her too, and then all of you would get a rip. Why don't you do that?
Yeah, you know what I mean? She's got 3 on.
Why don't you just all tag her at once and save time? And get pizza after or something.
So the Guru Fortay's advice is to all 3 of you should fuck this girl.
What's his name?
His name is Tom.
Kill yourself, Tom.
So fuck her, and then all three of you fuck her, push her off a cliff, and
maybe
then go get
kill
a
her
pizza.
and then fuck her. And then
All right, well, with that, we'll wrap up the podcast.
be a dead root.
Thank you very much for coming on Spearhead Sunday Fortay. I think that's probably one of the more fucked questions we've had.
Yeah.
Or no, the question was pretty solid. The answer was just fucked.
Yeah. I don't know, just do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just try and cop a suck off her.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Do you want to plug anything?
Fuck you, Tom and Mark, you sad cunts. What are you doing asking Lewis for advice?
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Call the kids helpline.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a shit one.